Good evening, guys, and happy Wednesday to all of your sunshiny faces. So guys, today I was actually pretty unproductive because I forgot until sort of late last night. I either overheard or somebody ended up saying something or mentioned something to me, which I knew ahead of time, but I forgot up until yesterday that the plumbers were coming today to get like everything under our sink done. I didn't realize either too that they were actually re-plumbing all of the piping under our kitchen sink, like actually like under the cabinet part. I thought they were just working on the stuff in the crawl space, but apparently everything underneath the kitchen sink was also really horrible. And the plumber had to replace, because he was just going to replace, like I said, like the pipe underneath there and replaced it all with PVC, which it originally was not. Also too, I heard that it was all done not correctly, like not actually how apparently pipe is supposed to go. Like the pipes were like in different, I don't know, like they came off weird and like combined it somewhere at some point, like sort of just like a quick, like they tried to get, you know, it done fast or whatever, whoever the original plumbers were that ended up putting this in, which wasn't since we lived here. I don't totally know, but yeah, he ended up actually like, or the both of them, I guess there were two guys that were here today. However, they ended up coming at about 8 o'clock this morning. I woke up at about 7:45 and made sure the dogs went outside. I didn't even get them breakfast, and then my mom was like, oh quick, you got to get them in your room because the plumbers are here, because we could have possibly had them upstairs, but since I was going to be home, it just made sense to leave all three of the dogs with me in my room, because on top of that, Matthew and Jack had football practice like this morning, or football camp. Matthew's like coaching the football camp, and then Jack's in the football camp, and then Jack also had track camp later in the afternoon, and then Matthew also had to go to the gym. So it just, like I said, it ended up making sense for the dogs to stay with me all day today. However, again, from 8 o'clock until like around 1 or 2 o'clock, the plumbers were here. It was a very long day, and I honestly, they did a really great job, but like I didn't think it was going to take that long. I thought when the guys that did the air conditioning were here, they were only here for like, I don't remember how late I slept, but I feel like they got here like maybe 9 o'clock and were here till like 11. Like it was only like a couple hour job, and I pretty much slept through like most of it until like the last like hour. I finally got up like around 10 o'clock, and then was sort of just like stuck in my room for like that long. But all day today I was pretty much stuck in my room. I think I came out one time. I think they went on like a lunch break or something like that. Matthew actually got Burger King and ended up, somebody came and brought it to me, and I stood in the hallway. That was the only time I was out of my room up until they ended up leaving. So yeah, it was a long day. Like I've been stuck in these four walls today for a long time. And so I was just like, you know, like I don't know too, it was just like I didn't get I wasn't able to start my morning either. So like normally in the morning I will make my coffee, or you know, or get my coffee if I pre-made it the night before, make my breakfast, all that kind of stuff. So literally for breakfast I ended up having a granola bar that was still in my room and some crackers, and that was pretty much my breakfast. And then at about 11 o'clock I think was finally when I asked my mom if she could bring me my coffee, because she was like out in the house with, you know, the plumbers and stuff like that. She was sitting in the living room while they were working in the kitchen and in the crawl space. And so she ended up, I was like, can you bring me my coffee? I was like, it is too late for me to still be sitting here and have not drinking any coffee yet today. So she ended up bringing me that, and because they were also like in the kitchen, because when I asked her to get the coffee, she's like, I don't know if I can even get to the fridge right now, because I think they were actually in the crawl space or something like that. But again, all of this stuff was sort of like all right in front of the kitchen sink, and again, so my coffee, because it was in the fridge. So she like was able to actually get it, and I was like, okay, thanks. Because like I said, I needed, like, I was like, I'm gonna start getting a headache if I don't have caffeine. Like, So yeah, ended up having that, which was late. So like, again, when my normal, you know, like I, again, have it first thing in the morning, which was, again, at like 8 o'clock, would have been. And then I didn't have like an actual breakfast really. I just had sort of snacks. And then, like I said, Matthew came back with like Burger King. So I ended up eating mozzarella sticks and onion rings. And then, like I said, then after that they ended up leaving. But yeah, Charlie, again, just like when the air conditioning guys came, he was shaking, freaking out, like so nervous, like that they were here. And he was the one that barked the most. Sweet little Bliss down here. Hi, Bliss. Hi. She was like, slept through almost the entire thing. Well, when they first came in the door, she was like barked for like maybe a minute and then was completely quiet the rest of the day. Bravo sat at the end of my bed and growled a lot and just sort of like, you know, like whined sometimes and maybe like yipped a little bit, but wasn't really that bad. And then Charlie, like every time he heard something, yes, I am talking about you, he just like sighed. Like every time that he would hear something, he'd either start shaking or else he'd bark at it. Like he is so scared of noises. And so like, and like I think the concept of knowing also too that they were like in the house and knowing that I was going to spray him with a spray bottle if he barked, and knowing that again that's the only way to keep him quiet is to spray him like a cat. And so like I said, he was like, at certain points he would be like quiet for a really long time, but he wasn't like consistently barking. But there were times where like he'd go off for like a couple minutes and I was like, stop, like just stop barking. Sometimes I just have to pick him up and like hold him to get him to be quiet, and like put him on my bed or like early in the morning, because for the first like hour or two I ended up just laying in bed and was watching TV and was like, oh, maybe they won't be here that long, like maybe by the time like 9-10 o'clock rolls around I can actually like leave, you know, get up or whatever. But again, they were here for a long time. So anyways, yeah, that was my day today. Then after that, we ended up figuring we were gonna do something else, and we ended up figuring out I think the root of our actual internet problem, which is actually a couple of things that is wrong with our actual internet. One is that we are literally not paying for the like megabytes per second at the speed as what we actually thought that we were, which is, it's cheap, but again, we thought that we were getting, like, I guess nobody actually knew what we were getting. We had no clue, but we would test our internet and be like, oh my gosh, why is it so bad? And like, then we'd be like, okay, well, like Jack and Matthew are playing, you know, video games upstairs in the room or whatever, and be like, oh, well, that's why, or something like that. But it was like, 2 people could not either stream or play something, like 2 or 3 people at the same time. It would just, the internet all of a sudden would just be horrible. And so we were like, what's the problem? And like I said, we figured out that, which we were supposed to, what normally like per one person would like use for, like megabytes per second or whatever it is what our entire internet speed pretty much is, which is pretty sad. So that is why, like, uploading also, when I go to upload a video, it takes so long. Why like, you know, downloading stuff, like streaming things, that kind of stuff, also a lot of times like can't watch half the stuff. Like you know, my TV, which is a smart TV, I hardly use it because I keep constantly having problems with it, like not connecting to the internet, and like just a lot of problems. And I keep thinking it's the TV, and I was like, it can't be the TV because I hardly use the TV. I was like, it honestly, like, and I get the problem the same on my Mac sometimes, on my PC. Like I said, I just random problems all the time. And so like I said, we finally figured out what that is, and so we're going to get in contact with somebody about getting that better and paying for, and also to bundling, because we figured out too that for our cable and for our internet, it's not bundled, so we're actually paying a lot more than if we would just bundle everything together. So like I said, it was sort of me, Matthew, my dad, and my mom, and then at one point it it turned into just me and Matthew looking all this stuff up, and Matthew was like, I really want to talk to like the people, you know, like for our internet and stuff like that. He's like, I want to be involved in the conversation because I feel like I know a lot more and I can explain things a lot more than either my parents can at this point, because of how much like we sort of looked into like other plans for other providers too, like what's available in our area as well and all that kind of stuff. And so again, after a long sort of like, and also to understanding like we have like a 2-year contract at that price and then it goes up after that, you know, if we went with a different company, and so would that be more or less than what we're paying now, you know, like all that kind of stuff, figuring all of that in. But we pay like a lot and it's kind of ridiculous per month, and so we're like, we can probably figure out a lot of ways to again cut some of this stuff down and or bundle things, save at least like probably close to $100 on some of the stuff, and then again to get our internet speed to where it's actually functional, because it's not, like I said, if I am like wanting to watch something in my room, stream something on my computer, Matthew and Jack are playing, you know, video games online upstairs, and my mom's maybe streaming something in the living room, like I said, it is just horrible. I like will get constant, you know, like spinning and not loading, and Matthew and Jack will be complaining that they're lagging upstairs. My mom will be having the same thing, or like one person will be working and the rest of the house like isn't. And so anyways guys, that is where we ended up spending most of our time then. That took us about another 2 hours. I've literally got nothing done today. I did do 1 load of laundry, but I didn't upload or edit today either because I was stuck with the dogs all day, and like I said, I didn't know how long this thing was going to take today, because I was like, oh well, you know, like maybe if it only is a couple hours. Like I didn't realize the extent too of them doing all of the pipe in the crawl space and all the stuff underneath the sink too. I thought it was just the crawl space, so I was like, oh, it's not going to be that long, but in, like I said, with all of it, it was a long time. And then on top of that too, that smell of like the glue that they used to like fasten the PVC or whatever together, oh my gosh, it was so strong, and like the entire house stunk like that. Like it was kind of stinky in the basement or the crawl space from like them working with the pipes. Like I could smell it a couple times. I was like, oh, that smells really bad. But then it was really like the smell that stayed and lingered was the stuff from, like I said, the glue or whatever. And so yeah, that was bad. And so everybody was like sort of irritated today too, because like my mom hardly slept. Matthew and Jack were up super early too. I was up early. Like everybody was just sort of cranky too today, and we didn't end up, like I said, really getting to anything. Nobody really ended up doing a whole lot other than again sort of handling all the stuff that we had to. But we were so impressed and so happy with our service actually today. It was awesome. Like I said, I didn't know or wasn't expecting like the length of time, so that's why too, like I was like, I don't know what I should plan on doing, because I was like, I don't want to start like uploading or start you know, editing vlogs or anything like that and then find out like, okay, they're done, and then going about doing my normal morning stuff, because I didn't know how long it was going to take. But yeah, but I did make my grocery list, because we're actually gonna go to the stores tomorrow, because Friday my dad, somebody at his work I think is retiring, so they're doing like a party thing or something like that, and he wanted to go to it. So he is on Friday, we're not going to be able to go, so we're going to go tomorrow to Valley Produce in Caputo. So I finished that list, and like I said, I did a load of dishes, or a load of laundry, but I didn't, like I said, I was like looking at the dishes too, because they were in the sink today, and there was a pile of dishes up there, and I was like, oh my gosh, like me and my mom both did not realize that they were going to be underneath the sink today. Luckily, we had actually all the stuff cleared out from when we thought that the exterminators were coming in and putting the stuff underneath the sink, which they ended up not doing. But we had all that stuff loaded up from then, and then kept it like that, because we were like, well, you know, then we found out the problem with the plumber too, and then that was a couple of days after that. We had like a bunch of stuff that was going on recently, but then that was a little bit after that, and we were also going to cut a new piece of plywood to put underneath the kitchen sink, because it has a little bit of water damage and it's warped a little bit, so we were waiting on that. But then, like I said, once we ended up figuring out that there was a problem with the sink, we were like, oh well, if they need to look at something or whatever, but we didn't realize they were actually going to be underneath there. So luckily all the stuff was actually already taken out. If not, that would have been even worse. Like we we had, like I said, cleaning products piled up. But yeah, so anyways, like I said, it was, me and my mom, neither of us knew, and my mom was like, I left dirty dishes in the sink too. Like, some of the stuff was clean, but there was also a lot of dirty dishes that were also sitting there too, because there was like, she had like a pot from yesterday that she used, and it was sitting in the sink dirty, and she was like, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. Like, they had to move like that to put in a new piece of the sink too, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that, like I said, we didn't realize that they were gonna need to be up in the actual under the sink part. I didn't, like I said, I thought it was just the what's it called, the crawl space portion. So there is another spot that they might end up doing, and we also, this is all for the drainage, and then also too, they might wind up doing the, what's it called, the like some of the actual water lines for some stuff, because our water pressure is really bad. We've had a couple of other like a leaky faucet in the, on the bathtub is leaking a little bit, and so there's, like I said, a couple of little things that we still need to get done plumbing wise as well, and so we've, like I said, been really happy though with this service. And they do a lot of stuff too. They do plumbing, electrical, and I think like some type of construction as well. So anyways, guys, yeah, that was my day. Not very exciting, sort of long, but and like I said, long for just sitting in my room, because I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, just sitting in here, I was like, maybe I should clean up. But then, like, every time that I got up, the dogs seemed to be more agitated, and so I was like, maybe I should just lay here and like just chill and like keep them quiet. But yeah, I was sort of stir crazy for a little while, and then, like I said, on top of that, the smelly stuff that was going on all in the house, and yeah, so anyways, guys, I will see you all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love it if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye, guys.